This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Amanda Stevens, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Monday, October 20th. President Lai says Taiwan cannot achieve peace by accepting aggressors' demands. Builder to face fines for delayed Hai Kun submarine prototype delivery. And officials say Taiwan's technology investments inherently different from previous economic bubbles. But first, today's top story. President Lai Ching-te gave an address on Monday at the annual Overseas Community Affairs Council, or OCAC, meeting in Taipei. In his speech, Lai reiterated that Taiwan cannot achieve peace by accepting either the 1992 consensus or the One China principle. President Lai spoke about a variety of subjects at the OCAC meeting, beginning with explaining the situation in Yunlin, Jiayi, and Hualien County after consecutive typhoons, including post-disaster recovery progress and the central government's assistance. He also discussed economic development, emphasizing Taiwan's continued growth. He said Taiwan's stock market has seen a 155% surge, with economic growth set to outperform that of the other four Asian tigers, even surpassing that of China, Europe, and the U.S., according to an Asian Development Bank forecast. Lai then moved on to national defense and security, reiterating that one can have ideals about peace, but not illusions. He clarified that Taiwan can neither achieve peace through a simple agreement nor by accepting the aggressor's conditions, saying,
"Following the 1992 consensus, which claims that accepting the One China principle will lead to peace, is simply impossible."
He pointed out that during former President Ma Ying-jeou's tenure, China continued to build its military, despite Taiwan's own reduced defense budgets, resulting in no so-called peace dividend. To that end, Lai says Taiwan's defense budget will increase to 3.32% of GDP next year, in line with the goal of 5% by 2030. The goal of this spending is not only national security, Lai says, but national defense independence, which is integral to both industrial and economic development. This investment will help further Taiwan's international cooperation and secure a place in the global defense industry ecosystem. The government will impose penalties on the builder of Taiwan's prototype submarine, known as the Narwhal or Hai Kun, for failure to be delivered on schedule, according to Defense Minister Wellington Koo. Koo reported to the Legislature on Monday regarding the progress, saying that fines will amount to around 190,000 NT dollars, over 6,200 US dollars per day, up to 20% of the 4 billion NT dollars, or 130.8 million US dollar contract value. A November delivery would be extremely challenging, explained Koo, adding that the Navy and contractor will continue required sea trials while prioritizing safety and quality. Regarding media reports that a senior official in the Naval Meteorological and Oceanographic Office illegally collected and shared sensitive exercise and operational information in unencrypted messaging groups, Koo commented that the military has launched an administrative probe and said he hopes the investigation will be handled quickly and with impartiality. National Development Council NDC Chairman Ye Jinxian presented before the Legislature on Monday on the current development of the AI boom and what differentiates it from the dot-com bubble. Ye underlined that as Taiwan is not carving out part of its industry, but simply copying it in a new location, there are far fewer risks to the overall industry. Ye notes in his presentation that through the 10 new AI infrastructure initiatives, Taiwan will create over 15 trillion NT dollars, or nearly 490 billion US dollars in output value, and 500,000 high-paying jobs by 2040, placing its AI capabilities among the top 5 globally. KMT legislator Xie Yifeng noted that the market value of U.S. AI startups has reached 1 trillion US dollars, but without generating relevant profits. She said this has led to market fears of a repeat of the dot-com bubble or even the 2008 financial crisis, but on an even more global scale. However, Ye says that unlike the dot-com bubble, many startups are directly creating AI applications or end products. He also notes that Taiwan has a strong presence in AI hardware, while relatively lacking in software. Addressing Vice President Xiaobi Kim's confirmation that Taiwan's entire chip ecosystem, not simply TSMC, will be investing in the United States, Ye says fears of amassed talent and industry relocation are unfounded. Comparing this to the United States' entry to the globalized economy in the 1980s, Ye says a critical mistake the U.S. made was in carving out part of its manufacturing to be done by Southeast Asia. He notes that Taiwan's approach is different. Rather than carving out and relocating, Taiwan will be copying its current supply chain while retaining manufacturing, especially critical and advanced manufacturing. Ye says Taiwan will instead help the U.S. cultivate its own talent pool, rather than relocating the Taiwanese one. Taroko National Park in Hualien, with its beautiful streams and magnificent scenery, attracts many domestic and international tourists to immerse themselves in the wonder of nature. However, recent flooding has closed entry to the park, with nearby residents and businesses preparing for disaster.
Most tourists flock to Taroko National Park to admire its magnificent mountains, beautiful streams, and boulder-filled canyons. Unfortunately, the Liu River landslide and rainy weather are causing water levels to rise, triggering the National Park Administration's red alert. The river rose so rapidly and suddenly that the water, previously a considerable distance from the road, reached halfway up the mountainside on Friday morning and had climbed to within a meter of the road by the afternoon. The west entrance of the Jiheng Tunnel, located just upstream of the dam, is now practically submerged, and flooding has covered other roads, forming waterfalls in some locations. Nearby businesses are preparing for disaster, with some hotels immediately evacuating everyone upon hearing the red alert was issued. The Youth Activity Center has also ceased activities and has broadcast that access is closed. One tourist expressed her disappointment that her trip was suddenly interrupted, but most people agreed that safety is paramount. Taroko National Park reminds everyone to stay away and wait until danger is over before visiting. Michelle Chang for RTI News.
The popular science train departed on its 6-day nationwide journey this Sunday, October 19th, with the purpose of inspiring and enabling scientists in communities across the island. Vice President Xiaobi Kim delivered a message at the send-off ceremony, saying,
Taiwan's popular science train symbolizes a new connection, and this year's theme is Inspire Imagination, Activate Superpowers. There have been many superheroes in Taiwan lately, and anyone who rides this train will join a new generation of science superheroes. Knowledge must be put into motion, bringing the passion for learning to every corner of Taiwan, allowing every child to build their dreams with their own hands and realize with their own eyes the opportunities the future holds.
National Science and Technology Council NSTC Deputy Minister Lin Fazan said science remains the foundation of innovation and economic growth. Taiwan's strong position in the global semiconductor supply chain, he noted, stems from years of investment in science education and talent development. The deputy minister said the NSTC will continue to promote science learning throughout Taiwan. This year's popular science train features 3 themes: outreach to rural areas, inclusive learning, and native language education. Lin said the vehicle serves as a mobile science lab, giving students, especially in remote areas, hands-on opportunities to explore topics ranging from marine technology and space exploration to sustainable energy, smart medicine, communications, and advanced materials. First launched in 2014, the popular science train program has attracted more than 100,000 students and participants. The NSTC said science education should not be limited by geography or resources, adding that the council aims to, quote, open every door to science, end quote, for Taiwan's youth. Taiwan has won the 2025 Panettone World Championship in northern Italy, taking first place in the classic panettone and chocolate panettone categories. The Taiwanese flag was flown throughout the venue after the win was announced on Saturday. Panettone is a famous Italian Christmas pastry, known for its intricate recipe. The championship, which was held in Verona and Milan in northern Italy from October 13th to 18th, attracted top bakers from around the world. The Taipei Economic and Cultural Office, or TECO, in Milan posted on social media that this competition is the highest international level for handmade panettone. It also noted that the Taiwanese team, coached by Giovanna Chen and comprised of 3 chefs, La Yijin, Cai Yuejin, and Yang Xijin, captivated the judges and audiences with their impeccable technique, delicate flavors, and innovative ingredient pairings. TECO in Milan director Ricardo Tan Nanlin delivered messages on behalf of President Lai Ching-te and Vice President Xiaobi Kim, expressing the nation's recognition and congratulations for the Taiwanese team's triumphant victory. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Amanda Stevens. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features, brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.